ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on this week's episode, we'll be talking about the movie Ballerina. But of course, before we get to any of that, I am joined today by, what did I make your name? You got to scroll up. Flame-throwing Nathaniel Ginger.
What up, folks? I'm Flame-throwing Nathaniel. They call me that because of all my sweet rhymes.
Do you have a lot of sweet rhymes?
I gotta be on
Give
fire.
Give us one.
I gotta be on fire for it to work. And
Okay, got it.
for
sure.
I don't like doing that to myself.
Yeah.
It's
Is that the old Nathaniel?
that was the old me.
Yeah.
New me doesn't want to see that. We're through that part of my life.
Right. It was a phase.
A couple of the most on fire people I've ever seen in this movie.
There are.
Bit of sizzle. Literally.
There are a few people that do sizzle here.
They're very on fire.
Yeah, they are. Also joining us today is Tatted Up Tyler Verdalis.
I think I do also. Well, I don't know. Blake, you probably have more tattoos than I do. You got full sleeve, right?
No, I don't have a full sleeve.
For some reason, I don't know why you had a full sleeve.
Do you have a chest piece though?
I do have a chest piece though. Yeah.
I also have chest piece. Nathaniel, you got a tattoo, right?
I do. It is.
Yeah. What do you got? You got a leg joint, right?
Yeah. It is not connected to anything. Eventually, I'd like to do a sleeve on the leg. Actually.
I would also like to do a sleeve on the leg, and the only reason I'm laughing hysterically is because there is an inside ongoing joke with Nathaniel's one and only tattoo.
What is your one and only tattoo?
It's I have two ladies tattooed on my leg.
Dude, you're a slut.
I am.
That was the old Nathaniel. Tyler,
Yeah,
that's
bro.
the old Nathaniel.
That's the old me.
That's fucking hilarious.
No, I have Princess's Rhyme and Reason from the Phantom Toll Booth tattooed on my leg.
Gotcha.
Which is my favorite book when I was a kid, and enjoy it overall. So.
Also, would like to go on record that Nathaniel is one of the least slutty people I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah, that's fair.
That we know about.
Allegedly.
That was the
except
old
on
me.
except on the dance floor. Then he lights himself on fire and starts spitting rhymes, and it's a little crazy.
Dance floor, don't judge.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a judge-free zone. What happens on the floor stays on the floor. Rounding out the squadron this week, we have big ballerina BlakeHolder.
Never taken a ballerina classes.
Dance
or
lesson?
What's the word I'm looking for?
Ballet.
Ballet. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I don't
Never
think
done
I
it.
have either.
I
As a kid,
briefly
I'm trying to
dated
remember.
Vertical pulls, horizontal pulls, it's all the same.
I briefly dated a girl that did ballet, and
Okay.
it is no joke. Like their athleticism is crazy. Their flexibility
Oh,
is crazy.
Mhm.
It has to be.
Like
Are you talking
one-
about ballerinas or strippers?
ballerinas? Also
Okay.
strippers too.
Well,
I mean, let's not.
Both. To be
Yeah.
honest, if we're being honest here,
Oh my
fellas.
god.
Dance
Like,
is dance, and dance in general is strenuous
For sure.
activity. Like there is
Absolutely.
no doubt about it.
It's a workout. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like probably one of the pound for pound strongest humans I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
Like she was just
for sure.
just a tiny willowy tank. It was incredible. It's just like she was made of wood.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
the crazy part is they're strong in places that you couldn't imagine, like their feet.
Oh, dude,
for example.
that was what I was
Yeah.
getting to. Is
It's
their
insane?
her toes and her feet and like just like all of that stuff where like she could like my feet hurt every day because I'm a 30-year-old man that's drank too many beers. I can't imagine what your feet were going through on like when you're a kid and just beating them up like that. But like
Yeah.
that level of mental toughness is crazy.
No, it's crazy. Just everything they do does
But there's
just
been,
shock me every time I see it.
I feel like there's been football players or well-known athletes that have said like, "Oh yeah, I've gone and practiced ballet or dancing and that kind of thing
for sure.
backup."
For
I know,
balance.
I know
crazy.
boxers, several boxers have done that kind of thing. But yeah,
100%.
this ballerina we're talking about though. So I was
What about her?
I was trying to build us a segue there.
No, what about her, Nathaniel? This ballerina.
Oh well,
What you got to
big
say?
killer.
What you got to say?
she's got a friend, and
No, she doesn't, dude. She's like she doesn't have any friends in this movie. Like
he's
she
the
doesn't.
Baba Yaga.
Oh, that friend. Well, they're not really.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm back.
Welcome, listeners. Welcome back to the main review segment here at Back Row Banter. We're talking about the movie Ballerina. The IMDb and what I've seen also other places is From the World of John Wick: Ballerina.
Yeah.
Which, like, I mean, no one's calling it that. Obviously, they have to say that so people know it's a John Wick movie because people might not realize that if they just see Ballerina. Obviously.
John Wick.
That's a cooler movie title though.
Ballerina or From the World of John Wick Ballerina?
From the World of John Wick Ballerina.
Oh, you like that more?
Yeah.
Oh,
Way too long though.
Hard disagree.
No, I
I'm
don't.
with you.
I don't enjoy that more. I get why they have to do it again for marketing purposes. However, for all intents and purposes here, I'm calling the episode Ballerina, and we're just going to refer to it as that. And I don't know if any podcast out there is saying From the World of John Wick Ballerina every time they have to reference the movie.
About Joan
We're
Wick.
not going to be one of those. Joan Wick. Oh, Joan Wick. That could play.
Jane Wick.
Jane Wick. Yeah.
Jane
Saying they
Wick.
dropped the ball. That's what it
as
should have been titled.
not of as
That would-
offensive as John Chick, which I have heard people.
That's
funny.
terrible.
I kind of like that.
That's funny. Anyway, Nathaniel, if listener here is new or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
You want to know how the review segment works on this
That's
podcast?
just what I asked you.
A
That's
rundown.
Just what I asked you, sir.
A rundown, you say?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Well,
sir.
I'll tell you. The way the review segment works here on Back Row Banter is it is split into two sections. Those are the non-spoiler section and then the spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go over the movie itself, who wrote it, who directed it, who's in it, all that good stuff. We'll go over the IMDb summary. We'll go over if we would recommend the movie or not. It's got to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. And then on, it's going to be spoiler time. If you want to take a break and don't have anything spoiled for you, go out, grab a snack, get a soda or something. But come on back for when spoiler time is over. It'll be marked in our show notes. Within that time, we'll go into any deeper thoughts or plot twists of the movie itself. And then once we're done spoiling it, we'll rank it up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast ranked. Adam, tell me about Ballerina from the world of John Wick.
Yes, don't forget, it's From the World of John Wick. I would love to, Nathaniel. This is a new movie, rated R, with a runtime of 2 hours and 4 minutes and an IMDb rating of 7.3 out of 10. The movie is directed by Len Wiseman, who I was having to look at a little bit because I'm not super familiar with him. One of the main things...
One for the old heads.
I recognize... Well, yes, a little bit, because I was going to say one of the main things... he's done a bunch of stuff, both producing and directing. But what popped out to me was 2012's Total Recall.
That's what popped out to you? The man directed Underworld and all of the sequels, and
Well, I
that's
haven't
what
seen
popped
any of
out to
those.
you?
Yeah, right.
I haven't seen any of those.
Agree more.
You were
I see Live
3,
Free or
I
Die
think, when the
Hard.
first one came out, so I guess that is a little
That's
bit
Adam's age, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a break, all right? I'm trying here, all right? But yeah, I'm not super familiar with him.
Well,
Seems like you guys are.
the good news is he basically didn't really direct this one either, if the rumors are to be believed. But
Oh, who did then?
Chad Stahelski, our boy from the rest of it.
Well,
yeah.
that's why I pulled up this IMDb and I was like, that would be cool too. I was a little surprised, but written by Shay Hatton, who I don't think. Oh, he did. Okay, he does have credits for John Wick Chapter 4, but none of the other John Wicks. And he also did Army of the Dead and Army of the Thieves, which we have reviewed here. Oh, he did Chapter. I'm sorry. His first writing credit. I didn't think it would be at the bottom. His first writing credit, it goes to Chapter 3, Parabellum. Quite the first credit.
I was gonna say,
to have
one of
on
those
your
movies I
list.
like a lot. The rest of them,
Yeah. But John Wick Chapter 3 and 4, and then he's been working, it looks like, a lot with Zack Snyder because he did the Army movies and Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2.
all right.
Oh,
well,
good.
Great. The cast includes Ana de Armas, Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane, Angelica Houston. Is it Huston?
Houston.
Not Houston. Is it Houston? Okay.
100%
Angelica
Houston. Lance Reddick in his final role.
There you go. Lance
RB.
Reddick. I was very surprised and saddened to see
So
him on
was I.
screen. And I was like, wait, when did they film this?
2022.
But wow, okay, I didn't realize it was in production that long. But I guess that makes sense because I remember hearing about it back then.
Yeah.
Let's see, who am I missing? Gabriel Byrne.
Norman
Reedus is here as well. I think I'm gonna stop there. There's a lot of characters in here, and some more important than others. But I think I've hit the high notes here. The IMDb summary reads as follows: An assassin trained in the traditions of the Ruska Roma organization sets out to seek revenge after her father's death. I mean, yeah, that's fine. That's good enough.
Sure.
The Ruska Roma training is similar. I mean, it's like Ballerina meets Black Widow. You know, you got you got ballerina training followed by your martial arts and combat training. They go hand in hand. If you've seen any of the John Wick movies, I guess maybe not the first one. If you've seen any of those sequels,
It would
you
be
probably have an
interesting
idea of who they are.
to go from
Just
one,
jump into this one.
Yeah, go from like maybe 1 to this one.
Yeah, it would be. I guess canonically, this takes place in between
3 and 4.
is it 2 and 3 or 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Yeah.
That's right, because he's on like his death hunt. At the end of 3, right? So in between 3 and 4, so we're going slightly backwards here. I guess in thinking about that out loud, maybe they were planning on this originally coming out before 4.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's been in development for a little while because at one point, like, it was supposed to be someone who was having a moment. Like, they talked about Lady Gaga being in it at one point, and I think it was there was someone else who was originally supposed to be the ballerina, and now I cannot remember it. But like, they started developing, I think, this like simultaneously with 3, maybe. That's why it kind of like takes place during 3. It's kind of like
Gotcha.
towards it. Like, I think it starts halfway through 3 and then like maybe ends after 3 or something like that. I don't know. But yeah. And then I think it was finally started production, and then like early on we started hearing like, oh, Len's having trouble kind of thing. Like, this isn't coming together. And then I think it was the Stahelski went out for reshoots, then strike, then like picked up, and now we're finally getting it now with Ana de Armas
Got
and
it.
everything.
Okay.
So
Got
been
it.
on a little bit of a journey.
Well, I'm glad it got here. And honestly, I wouldn't have guessed. I could have guessed maybe some of those things happening, but the fact that it is one where maybe someone else had to step in and help out, and there was reshoots in the strike. Like, we've seen movies get just churned in turmoil like that, and then the final product doesn't end up being all that great. Here, I wouldn't necessarily have guessed that while watching this movie. You know, I mean, I could kind of get into our non-spoiler thoughts here. Like, for me, I thought this was very solid. As a big John Wick fan, probably the biggest one of the 4 of us, thought this movie was very, very solid. Doesn't really stand higher than any of the 4 John Wick movies for me. And there wasn't a ton that like got me super invested or super amped throughout the movie. Or like invested in the characters, I mean, more than anything. I think the action is really good in this, obviously. Like, that doesn't really fall short. Maybe not higher than some of the John Wick movies. I'd have to kind of rewatch some of them to kind of compare more recently, but I think the action's great, but the story is a little bit weaker than I think we're used to in these movies, and part of that obviously is a new character, and it's kind of hard to build the kind of care that you have for a character like they did in John Wick 1. But I think this is pretty solid. So hearing all of the turmoil I went through, the fact that it had come out a pretty good and solid movie at the end of the day makes me pretty happy. Makes me feel good, because if this came out and this was really bad, I mean, I would definitely be disappointed. And yeah, but I feel pretty solid overall on this. I would be probably recommend. This again wasn't one that I was like jumping out of my seat for, or came out of the theater like grinning ear to ear like I have with some of the John Wick movies, but this is definitely still one that I had a good time with. I think is worth your viewing if you are a John Wick fan. Yeah, I'd recommend. Anyone else?
Yeah, I am definitely not as positive.
Okay.
I think I did enjoy myself and I had a good time with it, but I felt like, aside from the action sequences, this very much felt like a movie that had had multiple directors and like things added and that kind of thing, because there was just a lot of plot points or players that felt like they were kind of set up that didn't necessarily play out a whole lot. I'm thinking specifically of the Norman Reedus character.
Sure.
And like just kind of some of the things I felt like, particularly the beginning, first, maybe 15, 20 minutes of the movie had a very different feel than maybe kind of the mid 30 or 40 minutes or so. I feel like that was the original kind of bit, and then a lot of it changed, particularly kind of like what they were setting up with this other band or tribe set within the John Wick universe that kind of like was kind of set up as one thing, but then they seem to be just kind of the same as anyone else in a lot of ways as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was really where I felt like there was some things that let it down. You talked about like the story side of it. I really don't think the story side of it is very good at all, but it's really helped out by a lot of really good action sequences that I think are worth the price of admission and are worth watching, because there are moments that slapped a smile on my face and that kind of thing. But I think that's Stahelski's direction and action choreography really shining in those moments. And Ana de Armas's performance, no doubt. Like, she is a game performer. I think she looks great performing the actions and feels very believable. I kept having a problem because I kept thinking it was her character from James Bond. Where I was like, oh shit, these are like, no, that didn't happen in this movie. Again, I think I'm just getting old, guys. Like, maybe this is just happening to me. But I kept thinking like those moments were within the John Wick universe, or like we'd seen her in another film and it was that character or something like that. But yeah, I think I'm a recommend, but barely. Like, it really is right there. Like, the story is not anything to write home about, but there are enough things as a fan of the franchise that I enjoyed that side of things. But if you haven't seen a John Wick, this is not the one to start with. And
Definitely not.
like if you saw 4 and you were like, I'm done with John Wick at this point, then you can skip this one. But if you're you enjoy these movies, you got a weekend free or a couple hours, I think it's worth the watch. I'll kick it to Blake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably closer to Nathaniel than I am to Adam on this one. So I mean, short and to the point here, right? I'll keep it sweet. Action sequences in this are awesome as expected. That's what I'm purchasing a movie ticket for when I go into this film. Is I want to see the action sequences. I want to see gunfire. I want to see hand-to-hand combat. And you get all of those to the scale you should get in a quote-unquote John Wick or from the world of a John Wick film,
Yeah.
right? That being said, there's already 4 of these, and there's a lot of world building in those 4 movies. And they kind of dump you into this one, which takes place as the group is echoing between the third and the fourth, I believe. And yeah, outside of that, just like I don't know, I didn't ask for this. I didn't need another John Wick movie. I didn't need
Speak for
another
yourself.
John Wick film. Yeah, right. You're absolutely right, though. Like I didn't need another John Wick film. I didn't need more in-depth lore from other vantage points in the Continental universe per se. I didn't even watch the TV show. I think I was good with give me Keanu Reeves. It sounds really sexist as I'm saying this out loud, but give me the Matrix Keanu Reeves, right? Beating people up and shooting people. Now, yeah, this is cool. They give it the spin. You get your female assassin type. Anna does phenomenal in this, though. She's absolutely acting her ass off in this. And to Nathaniel's point, you do kind of backtrack this of like, oh, this reminds me so much of her character in, because I think she appears in No Time to Die and the one before that, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's just No Time to Die.
Okay. So I could be wrong on that one. And yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. We'll talk on spoilers, but yeah, overall, great action sequences was really what you're paying for the admission for. But yeah, but outside of that, it's like I'm good, man. They gave us 4 movies and 12 hours of John Wick lore in the 4 movies, right? I don't need anything else, but
I will say,
we'll go to die. Go ahead.
I'll jump in and say quick, like, I do think that, like, at least this movie is showing us things that we haven't seen before. Like, no matter what, like, even with, like, Mission Impossible recently, we were, like, it was kind of like, all right, we've done an underwater stunt, we've done an airplane, or, like, flying stunt before. The action sequences in this, like, the choreography team or whatever is definitely working on stuff that I was like, damn, I can definitely say I have not seen that setup and, like, that kind of, like, tracking before. That felt fresh. That felt really interesting. Yeah. Like, way to go, boys. You continue to prove yourself on top. But Ty?
Pass.
Okay. So now after
this is I think I'm on the full fence of not recommend. I think contrary to your last thought, I think pretty much everything we saw in here has been done in pretty much any other action movie that you possibly think of. There's only one shot in this that I can think of that I thought was pretty cool or like creative in a sense. Everything else I feel like we've seen in an action movie or specifically in a John Wick movie. It did feel very pieced together at points. And my only props is obviously, you know, it's an action film. It does have guns. Although I will say some of the gunfights did not seem as realistic as some of the other John Wick movies. I feel like in some of the other John Wick stuff, you get a lot more reload times. You get a little bit more of a realistic kind of feel and vibe around that. Whereas like this one, I almost kind of feel like that's not the explosive radius of a grenade. And we'll get to that. And I feel like, you know, sometimes she had a little bit more bullets than what I would have imagined in a standard or even a semi-extended magazine. But yeah, I mean, you know, my biggest props are, you know, everybody obviously wants to be in this movie and there is some good acting. And then, you know, just kind of building on the universe a little bit, but yeah, genuinely, this kind of gave me like Hobbs and Shaw vibes, like Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Like I kind of really didn't give a shit. Like I wasn't asking for it. Like we could just live in the regular universe and I'd be perfectly fine. It'd be way cooler if you brought her into the universe with him in like, you know, a John Wick movie versus giving like her own spin-off. I feel like this is just like a way of basically being like, yeah, the Continental show on Peacock didn't really do anything, so like maybe we should just try another spin-off without making it a show. We'll just make it a movie. So yeah, I think I'm pretty pretty out on this, especially when you do have things like Mission Impossible that came out, which I think are significantly better action movies, or in this case, a better action movie than this. But yeah.
All right. Are you? So what's the recommend ratio here?
Ooh. I'll give it
No.
a recommend. I mean, it's not like it's horrible, but
Okay.
I do hear what Tyler's saying though, and Nathaniel to that point.
Yeah.
Nathaniel,
yeah.
I was recommend.
Are you cool on it? Or
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Get off that side, Nathaniel. Get off that side. Just get off.
Nope. No,
I
say go see it. I disagree. I don't know what other movie you have. Some of the stuff that happens in this movie, but we'll talk about it.
Every John Wick movie ever.
I don't know what you're saying.
Let's go into spoilers. If you've not seen Ballerina, check the timestamp I've left in the episode description. You'll be taken to the ranking of our movie Hop Upon our Entropy list.
Hop upon.
Nathaniel, give me a spoiler noise, please.
Spoilers. Shit goes down.
We couldn't hear the spoiler sound like we normally can't, but I genuinely hope it's just you saying spoilers like that.
It was the chimes, and then I was trying to match the tone for that.
The
If we were
tonality?
if we were like in a doctor's office, I feel like that's how
Sure.
it would be.
You were trying to be rather calming.
Indeed.
Indubitably. Yeah, I don't know where to start here.
Grenades don't work like that.
Grenades don't work like that.
But it was cool.
You're right. But it was cool. But I don't
Maybe they were special
think your
John Wick
gripes-
grenades.
Listen, John Wick 4 features people shielding bullets with their suit jacket. Like
also
I don't know why
get
we're
in this.
drawing. Like, why are we?
We do get that in this.
We do
I'm
get some of that in
impervious.
this.
Even though you're a good shot and an assassin, nope.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not drawing the line at grenade blast radius. Although I agree with you. Part of me was like, all right, come on, but like, I wasn't.
The door
wasn't
one was
super
cool
offended.
because that's a massive steel door, which I get.
Sure.
I still think you're getting quite a bit of blowback from that, especially given her size. But yeah,
the
that's
one that
cool.
was
But
like-
the jumping over the table, like
The
that,
table
you're-
one was-
you're dead. You're also
the
dead.
the
There's
table
also-
one was a little.
There's one where
Little
like the
much.
guy just got like vaporized. Like
Yeah.
there's just
That was the
nothing
table
less.
one.
Okay.
She literally jumped over the table and then like
I
his
thought-
body was just fucking gone.
I couldn't remember. I thought she was hanging him off a wall for some reason, but
No, she like jumped over the table while it was like falling
Yeah,
down.
she like
You know, it's like-
wraps it around his head and then
it's one of
jumps
those
over
good
him.
Yugoslavian tables, bro. It's just made out of good Chernobyl oak. And
Yes, yeah.
like,
I believe it was metal,
it's
Well,
tougher.
yeah, it better have been.
It's like 3 feet of concrete. It's
The-
fine.
The one camera shot I want to point out, because it was one of the things that kind of sticks in my head, is unfortunately when Keanu Reeves is on screen. But it's like when he falls to make a shot and the camera, it's almost looked like they just put a camera and just tipped it with him.
Sure.
And then they also made the shot with that. And so I thought that was probably like one of the coolest shots in the whole movie. I was like, oh, well, that's cool. It literally almost looks like they dropped the camera on purpose to make it look like it was
Probably-
falling with him. So,
Probably inspired by Pig.
well, also a
Could've been.
great movie. I mean, we can go into depth about that.
Came out
and-
around the time they were
Could've
filming
been.
this. Just saying.
I liked the progression on this one. I liked because genuinely, actually, when this started, I was like, oh shit, did they make a PG-13 like John Wick movie? Because like she's using like the rubber bullets in the first part, and like a lot of it's kind of like off screen and stuff. In like contrast to, I think it's like John Wick 3, where he has like the like knife fight in the like hallway where they're like picking them off the walls
Yeah.
and throwing them
Yeah,
at
yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
Such
and
a great
shit.
fight.
Like,
That's a top 3 John Wick
and like
fight.
yeah, dude's getting stabbed in the eyes, and like the third one I think is when he like turns into like a slasher almost. But like this one starts very kind of low key, and then she hits the dude in the chest with the axe, and I was like, oh no, this is definitely R-rated. Like, and then it kind of just escalated from there, and I did enjoy that aspect of it. I like her like progressive fighting style, how it gets kind of like more explosive and less like controlled. I like the flamethrower fight too. That one ruled.
I agree.
Coolest part of the whole movie.
For sure.
Again,
was pretty
it's
awesome.
just some of the most on fire dudes I've ever seen. Just guys left and right, just completely consumed in
The
flames.
range on that flamethrower
That was crazy, man.
Crazy. Yeah.
I also thought I liked the grenade scenes as well too. I thought they were fun. Now, that being said, everything with the X clan is fucking weird and doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, these are the crazy people. They don't follow any rules. They follow all of the rules, even the ones for the Continental, up until the point that like everyone breaks them, because that seems to be half the thing. Like that's the stuff where I'm just like, this just is nothing.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like just the overall plot in general of the movie, it's like, all right, it's just another you killed my father revenge story.
Well, and
pretty
they,
much.
they set up that like interesting kind of subplot narrative of like, okay, this is the she's on the division of the Riskaroma who are like the protectors. Like they're like sent out on missions where they're like catch and like extract versus like go in and kill. And like I think that's an interesting way to take it and like build her character. But then they very clearly like abandon that because reshoots happened. And it becomes this very bog standard, just revenge thing, and then it just turns out the whole town's against him, kind of thing.
Yeah, I got really excited when they introduced her sister.
Sure, yeah.
And then they just killed her off. I was like, dude, this is gonna be so cool. They're gonna fight their way out of here.
Yeah,
it's
and
gonna
then
be
like
fucking sick. And then she just fucking gets blown up by a grenade.
Is Norman Reedus her brother? Was there a third sister that is dead as well too?
I don't know if this is like truly one of these scenarios where like he is the chancellor's son, or if they're like just part of this weird cult where like everybody is like they just whoever the leader is, he just calls everybody like their.
Well, that was the other thing
I
was wondering too, but because I think the sister is Lena, but I thought she might be Elena, so I thought it might be all of the daughters or like of him have an E name. So it was Eve, Elena, and was it Ella? I think was the other one. But I don't know if that was could have been a writing thing that got left out as well too, or something. You know?
Yeah. Maybe I don't think there was a relation there. I guess, maybe their parents, the girl's parents, just were part of that cult, and then they just wanted to get them out. But even like at the beginning of the movie, they had said he was an outsider,
right?
And
he's
we
from
let you marry
Riskaroma.
Yeah, and we let you marry into the family,
right?
And look what you did with it. You fucked it all up. So who knows? But yeah, I genuinely wish that them fighting out of the town was the sisters versus her and John.
Janwick.
Baba Yaba Wick.
Joan.
Yeah, I agree. I think that makes sense. I like how it's just not even a fight for him. Like I do like that they set that up.
Yeah.
Like that it's just like he's just like, bro, like this ain't it. And like he's like kind of establishes him as like powerful enough to kind of pull some of the you get a better sense of him within the scope of the universe and kind of like the power that he kind of calls, where he's like, oh no, I'll give you until 30. Like this is my call to make on some of it as well too.
Yeah, it was cool seeing John Wick not on his path to
not fighting for his life,
not on his revenge path fighting for his life, but you're not seeing John Wick, you're seeing him as Baba Yaga, like you're seeing him as the mercenary everyone else sees him as, and that was really cool to see, like when he's walking through
just aura maxing.
And he, it was more than just a puppy. Like, oh, that's a cool, like, obviously it's, it's an obvious callback, but it's a cool little line to give. And then like, I don't know, just seeing him, not be the primary character, but you're just seeing him and his, like you said, kind of like just the aura that he has around him. And they have that really good shot when he shows up in the mountain town of, it's like, oh, the Baba Yaga's here. And it's like just a blackout, like you just see a silhouette. And really cool shot there. But I really enjoyed seeing that aspect of that character in this movie. And then
I
again,
do
to your
like
point,
when like things start to pop off in the town. Once he gives her like the 28 minutes, and then he was like you get the shot of like the two like lackeys in the stairwell, and it's clearly a girl's voice, and she's like, come on, let's go, it's just one guy, and he's like, it's fucking John Wick. And then she turns around and then just gets plugged in the face. I'm like, man, yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah.
And then the other part, the Watchtower guy was awesome. I'm like, this guy's got the coolest job ever. He just sits up here with all these telescopes
and
tells everybody.
That felt very within the world of John Wick, where you have Lawrence Fishburne fucking sending carrier pigeons and shit paid with gold coins and all that like weird nonsense.
100%.
The cult of the town itself, like they set it up as this like crazy thing, and like none of that feels like it's weirder for you to take in children, tattoo them with giant crucifixes on your back, and then make them dance in a ballet. That's stranger than like, yeah, you can live in the town and kill who you want, like kind of thing. I don't know. It's just
fine.
And like we mark each other with an X on the wrist to let them know we're real extreme.
It's the same thing.
It's the real CM Punk energy, is what I'm saying. Real straight edge of this cult. Everyone's on their phone right now, listeners. Don't worry. I'm here with you.
I'm not. I'm also here. I was just you and I'm here, so I'm just kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
plus I don't. You guys are all more positive on this movie than I am, so I don't want to just sit here and fucking take a dump on its chest.
Yeah, no, and I'm not the most positive on this thing either. So I mean, I didn't want to jump in, and also I felt like I talked a ton last week, so I wanted to open up the floor for Adam and Tyler on this one. But yeah, overall, I mean, yeah, the flamethrower sequence in this, awesome, very reminiscent of the that incendiary shotgun.
Yeah,
right. Is that the fourth one?
Yep.
With the bird's eye view. Yeah. Awesome. That's your price of admission there. Yeah, I mean, you include Keanu Reeves in this, where I feel like you kind of have to, per se. I mean, did anyone think that he would not be involved? Or I guess
no. I guess I just
trailers. I don't know.
I really just. I would have been totally fine if they would have just did like the couple of shots in like the first half of the movie. I didn't need him coming to the rescue, and like, if you're gonna genuinely make this movie about her, then let her do the whole thing. That's why it would have been significantly better if you would have let her and her sister fight their way out. Do I want a John Wick 5? Sure. But you just basically made this like a fucking John Wick 4.2. Like it's when you let him dominate that much of the screen, even with the little amount of time that he's on there, people are immediately invested more into him than they are, because we have an entire universe built on his back, not her back.
Like even the fact that like, what is the thing that everyone in the John Wick franchise says to John like the first time they see him? Oh, John, are you back? And like, you would think that like even when she is first introduced to him, like which is taking place again after 2. Or like the beginning of 2, because doesn't he get the tattoo? Like the timeline screws me up in this one, because he like gets the tattoo removed and that, or gets the branding on the tattoo
in the beginning of 3, because then he gets shipped off to go see Halle Berry.
Okay, so that is 3, not 2. I thought he might have to do it in 2 to get the passage over to the Europe so that he can refill his coin.
Well, it's like he goes. Is it in 2? He like punches his ticket is like the term they use.
Right.
And I can't remember if that's 3. I think that is 3.
I'm pretty sure it's 3.
Anyways.
Okay,
so 3 it is then. Okay. So then that makes the timeline make a little bit more sense. But it just I don't know. It felt a little odd. It felt like it was really supported by its action sequences, and that's that's okay.
And that is okay. That is okay. I mean, I agree. I don't think the plot's not anything special. I wish I cared about Ana de Armas' character. What's her name? what's her name? Well, yeah, that too.
Eve.
What's her Eve? That's right. It's kind of sad that I don't even like remember. um, but yeah, I wish I like cared more for her character, and they'd maybe done a little bit more to build her up. Well, I guess here's kind of a question going off that a little bit though. Is would you guys want a Ballerina 2?
No,
No, thank you. Just give me a John Wick 5 if we're going to keep making
which
these.
sucks
Which
because
I don't even
they
want.
set it up.
I don't think we're gonna get a John Wick 5 at this point.
Yeah.
Because I will say, Keanu Reeves moving a little bit slower, man. I hate to say it.
That was something I
He
said,
looked a little old in
that
this
was
one, and I
something
looked up
said
his
as
age, and
soon
he
as the
is
third
like
and fourth
61.
one came. When the third
Yeah.
and fourth one came out, that's where I was like, the choreography is still so good,
Yeah,
but you can genuinely tell that like in a real fight. So I'm not waiting to kick you. I'm not waiting for you to get up to kick you. I'm just gonna kick you. And
I
so you
think,
can tell the choreography has had to slow down.
I think we might be getting a Donnie Yen spinoff.
that'd be good.
Who like
I would be open to that as well.
that dude can obviously still kick it. And that's I mean, I'm okay with keeping John in the kind of like guest roles at this one. Maybe the Donnie Yen one expands. What is it, Mr. Nobody in the last one? He was pretty cool. I don't know. The John Wick universe is crazy. I always like it's one of those things where like I almost don't want them to explore it more because it's kind of that thing of like the more you explain it, the more you just like lose yourself in it, and it becomes the like this doesn't have any bearing in reality anymore. But
Okay, if they did like another spin-off or if they maybe continued or like genuinely I think putting him in so much of the back end of this movie ruins this movie. Not because he's not good, but it just takes away from her so much.
You can
Yeah,
you're
it's very valid.
still trying to support the entire universe on Keanu Reeves' back.
Yeah, you could see the John Wick franchise going the route of a Fast and Furious or a Mission Impossible, right? But the problem is you started with your star already ostensibly being like over the hill, quote unquote. That's part of what's written into the story. So you've got to create the younger stars, right? And I think this is a attempt at that, but maybe it's maybe it's just not going to kind of work that way. It's okay. We need other franchises, folks. We need original ideas. Even in action movies.
Facts.
Cool action movies. Like, I want to see what Stahelski does next. Supposedly, he was supposed to be doing the Highlander series, and that's where he get called off to do this instead, which that would have been cool. But, yeah, I don't know.
I think at least give me some time. You know, if you want to continue this IP, that's fine. But let it cool off a little bit. Give me some breathing room. You know, we don't need a movie. We don't need a John Wick movie in production at all times. And that's coming from me. You know, like too much of a good thing isn't always great.
On the next one, like set it on a boat or something. Like maybe do like a weird, smaller, like
sure,
like almost like The Raid or something. You know, where it's like set in one location kind of thing, and you can just. You got like one guy against a bunch of other people or something. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously the drawing point of this movie is the action sequences. And I think it would be cool if they got, and this is more, I think, along the lines of like kind of what Tyler's asking for a little bit, is like if they got back to more of the original appeal of the first one, which was like, look how tactical this is, and like look how grounded this combat feels, and like the gun fu, like look how kind of like grounded and real in the like the longer takes of these action and fight sequences rather than the quick cuts that we had seen up until then. You know, give it some time, maybe get back a little bit more to that original smaller scale story, because it does seem like, you know, they caught lightning in a bottle with that first one and how they built that character and everything. And while I think all of the John Wick sequels are really, really good, there's something about just the limited window that we saw into this universe and like how small of a scale that felt. Obviously, we can't go back there. You know, the Pandora's box has been opened in terms of the background lore of the universe here. But give me a story of that scale, and then give me a piece of lore that is more contained. That isn't like, oh, you have the Ruska Roma and is one clan, and you have this X clan who lives in the hills, but then like there's still the homeless people out there. Like, I don't need all of these clans warring and stuff like that. Like, give me a smaller scale piece of lore, give me a smaller scale story, and maybe get back to a little bit more grounded choreography potentially. I don't think that's going to be the direction that they go ultimately. I think the scale of these movies has gone too big for them to really scale it back. I mean, when you have a flamethrower versus a fire hydrant hose battle, that's kind of hard to go back to just hand-to-hand combat purely. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily Ballerina that I want a sequel to, but I'm not mad about more John Wick movies. Maybe just give it some time, make sure it's a good one, and give us a story that like I want to care about and like gives more interesting insight into this universe, because I think they have a good thing going here, but I don't know if they've cracked the code on necessarily how to tell the story of this universe, if that makes sense. I think they're still maybe trying to figure that out, especially in post Keanu Reeves and post John Wick movies. If they want to continue with this universe, I think they got some more to figure out with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, Adam, in terms of just if we want to do more world building in this universe, that's fine. Just give it time. The first John Wick was 2016,
13.
So, oh my God, is it
there was
early?
there was a big gap between, was it
1 and 2?
No, it was the biggest gap. I think there was like a 4 or 5 year gap between 3 and 4
because you had COVID in there,
right?
So one
COVID
is, he said one's 13. What's 2? 16?
2 is 15, I think. It's a quick turnaround. Or no, you know what? 2 is here. Let me see. I think 2 is 2017, but then 3 is like 2018.
I was like, okay, so I know there was a quick repetitiveness.
Yeah, so it's 2013, 2017 to 2019 to I think 2024.
23.
No,
I think
John Wick 4 is 23. Yeah, 23.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's essentially right. I mean, you take that where in just over 10 years we've gotten 5 films and a TV series, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's cool, man. They were hits. They did what they were supposed to do. Crushed the box office. Opened up a new segue right for action. How you do this hand-to-hand combat and gun combat, or gung fu as they've kind of named it. But we just gotta let things sit for a little bit, man. Let it marinate. Let the people take into it. Maybe do comic books. Maybe do just another form of media that we can take in on it.
Anime.
Yeah,
Sure.
Animation.
Yeah, I think at this point I would be more interested, or I would be. How could I word this? I would be more interested in watching an animated version of this.
Yeah.
And just so they can like really build out the world, and that way on animation, as you guys know way more than I can, way more than I know. Yeah, you can just portray way more in animation that you can't really do in real life. So maybe they take that route, but that's all I'm going to say to close up my thoughts.
The one story idea that I've always kind of wanted them to explore, and I do and I don't, because like I think if they do it wrong, it has potential to ruin quite a lot of things. But I would love a prequel, which is the job that got John Wick out. Like in the first one, they set it up. He goes, I gave him an impossible task.
Yeah,
and it's like I would love to see what that is, and also you can mix in maybe some more of like, oh, how did he met his future wife, and like, why, and so you see a little bit more of an inspiration of like why it is that he wanted to get out of the game, and then you see how it is he did get out. Like that's kind of the one story I've always thought like they could tell, and it could be really cool. But again, done wrong, that then collapses a lot of like what they build, and even just into the first one, and I guess the rest of the 4 is just like that would that done poorly enough has a potential to kind of like have some ripple effects on the rest of the franchise. That at least in my opinion, I think that could be dangerous. But that was one story that I've always kind of like perked my ears up at. I'm like, what was that impossible task? How many bodies did he bury that day? The bodies he buried that day built the foundation of what we have now, or something like that. I forgot what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get up on the entropy list. Yeah, we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
No objections. All right, cool. Welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and throw up Ballerina up upon our Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of all the movies we have reviewed, regardless of genre, regardless of anything else, all on one fantastic list. This is essentially how we rate our movies rather than do out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. If you want to reference the Entropy list for yourself, you can do so by checking the episode description where it is linked to my Letterboxd.
Number 1.
Yeah, that was a funny bit in the Mission Impossible episode. That was good.
We are funny.
For context here, listeners who are not looking at the Entropy list, we have 238 movies on this list currently. All the way at the bottom is Borderlands. All the way at the top is Dune Part 2. Right there in the middle. What is the middle of the list right now? That'd be 116. Right in the middle, we have Challengers.
Yeah, I guess
that kind of
thinking
shows you
out
how
loud.
top heavy this list is. 'Cause
Yeah.
Challengers being the halfway point is hilarious.
So kind of thinking out loud here, fellas. I mean, I was going through to
This
see
would be
where we lay
119,
at
it'd be
in terms of
119.
action movies, right?
We
got-
19's Lord of the Rings War over here. I'm sorry, I did my math wrong.
No worries. So we got Tenet at 172, head and shoulders above this film, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion. And you have The Matrix, Resurrections at 190.
Yeah.
And that's a film, a throwaway from the Matrix universe. This one, I don't know if I want to say necessarily throwaway, but I do like it way more than the Matrix Resurrections, right? So I think I kind of have to fall somewhere in that middle line. I do think Tenet is way too low on here. But I think I don't really care for Lightyear. Don't really care for Moana 2. Honestly, I'm just gonna pull the plug, man. I'm gonna put it at 186.
All right. 186, below Army of the Dead, above Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah.
That's not a terrible spot. I'm not that far off from you, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I know it, apparently I'm the most positive one here, but like it's not like I don't think this movie's like
The funny
it's
thing
just
is
hard to
I'm not.
bury, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to
You know?
be too far away from where you guys are at either. Because
Yeah.
like there are movies that are below this that I think are far worse.
Yeah, because like there is a drop off in my opinion at like there's a heavy drop off at like the 200 mark.
well, I would
maybe
argue
like-
the drop off is really 181 after Blind Spotting.
You think so?
That
Okay.
to me, because Blind Spotting, Blackening, and like you got FD3 and Straight Outta Compton, it's like, and then you keep scrolling up, like those are still all pretty
Yeah, I
solid
guess,
good
yeah.
movies. But then like once you hit like Ferrari, Men, Ghostbusters, Moana 2, Army of the Dead, I'm like those are just such a lower tier to me.
Yeah.
Like it's just
sure.
an entire tier lower quality of movie. I put movies at like 181 above Ferrari all the time just for that reason. It's like that's my cliff personally. There's another cliff I would agree with you. There's another cliff even lower. But that's my main
I
one
got
that
mine.
usually go back to. He's got his.
Throw it up, dude. Throw up.
In maybe in conversation with one we ranked earlier this year, I'm gonna rank this at 173, below Tenet, above Thunderbolts. I think this clears Thunderbolts by the fact of like I still had a better time in this, and I feel like this moves action cinema forward, where like Thunderbolts is like a return to form for Marvel, and I'm doing air quotes there, listeners. But like, yeah, this is just that gulf you're talking about, that cliff. I don't know if it's right there for me, because I think there's still definitely some good ones in there as well too. But I think for this one, it's just it's right there. It's above Thunderbolts. It's below Tenet.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna be above Army of the Dead, I think. I think I'm going to be at 185, just below Moana 2.
$185. Below Moana 2 and above Army of the Dead. Okay.
And then we can figure this out later, but I did also do a little catching up, and I would put Accountant 2 at 198 above The Flash.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that later because I'm going to have to go back and figure out where the three of us ranked that initially. Doesn't matter at this point. Nathaniel was at 173, is that right?
Yes, he was
So
below
right
10.
below Tenet.
Yep.
73, 185, 186. I'm a little torn because, as always, there are the movies that I'm like, I would definitely not put this below that movie. And those movies for me right now are the Blind Spotting and The Blackening, two movies that just like sank too far on this list for me.
Yeah.
But I digress. Because I am closer to where Nathaniel's at, where I'm like, I would probably put this over Thunderbolts and over a lot of the movies in between Thunderbolts and those other ones. So I'll be with Nathaniel at 173.
I think I'm taking Thunderbolts over this.
It's not that they're not that far off, but it's a little
I
tight.
think I agree with Adam. It's debatable.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's definitely up there. Yeah, there's definitely a good argument for both sides for sure.
I would agree. But that does give us Nathaniel. You missed it. We were both at 173. I joined you.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. It gives us an average ranking of 179.25, meaning we put it at 180, which should put it below. Oh wow. Okay, it splits the Blackening and Blind Spotting.
Oh, there's that cliff.
Right below Blackening and above Blind Spotting. It just added some complications to the cliff, but that is where it's gonna go for right now. Tyler, you saw, or actually, let's close this out really quick.
Close it out, dude.
That's the review for Ballerina. Next week's review, we are gonna do 28 weeks later, the second one of the soon-to-be trilogy. 28 weeks later, we're doing that ahead of 28 years later, which should be coming out in a couple weeks as well. That is currently streaming on the platform Hulu. You might have heard of it. But you can stream it there, or you can rent it other places. But that one is available to watch. So check that out. Join us for our review next week. Tyler, you saw Accountant 2?
Yeesh.
Give us your thoughts, man. Give us some brief thoughts here, and then I'll note down your ranking, and then go back and put it up where it needs to be.
It was fine. I will say I like the first one more than the second one. I do like that they brought John Bernthal in a lot earlier. Obviously, that relationship was established in the first one, so it was cool to see them both on screen and kind of have the brotherly moments. Overall, I thought the plot line was rather forgettable. It just kind of seemed, like a way for, two different autistic brothers to kick some ass on screen. And if
I don't think John Bernthal's character is autistic.
you could argue that he is.
High functioning. Okay.
That scene in the hotel where he's like hyping himself up to talk to the dog breeder is,
that's a good point, man. That's a good point. That is a very but yeah, I still had a lot of fun with it. I love the cowboy bar scene where he just immediately picks up dancing, and then the guy comes over and he wants to kick his ass, and he's like, well, my brother wasn't having a very good night, and now he's having a great night. Yeah. I think we talked about that in our review of being like probably our favorite scenes. At least up there for all of us. Yeah, and then some pretty good gunfights in that towards the end, where they're kind of fighting in that little desert compound, and I had a lot of fun there. For some odd reason, the firing of the guns seemed a little more like CGI than like what you found in Ballerina.
For some odd reason, when like John Bernthal he switched his gun over to like fully automatic. At one point, it felt like, I don't know, maybe it was like the way that they did like the barrel flash on screen, and then the way that it sounded, it almost just sounded like it was like fabricated versus like them actually like shooting blanks at like a real speed.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But
I've also
yeah,
not
overall
surprised.
had a pretty good time. Not a dog shit movie, but overall I think it was kind of very similar to the Ballerina. It's good action. It was, I give credit to the actors, but the overall storyline just kind of falls away in comparison to what you have previously in some of the other movies. So
Heard. And where was your ranking? What'd you say it was?
I said above Flash, wherever that is. Let me take a look here. 198.
198. Okay, I will go back and
Your
figure
ranking.
out. Yeah, I forgot where it landed between the three of us because we put it on.
It
here.
looks like it's only a little bit below that at 203.
Okay. I'll figure out where our initial rankings were, and then do a re-average, and then I'm not gonna. I'll just make the amendment on the entropy list if you're curious where that just fizzles out at. You can just check the entropy list. You still gotta watch Sinners though, Ty.
I
That's
do,
the other
yeah.
one.
I really tried to get to it. Unfortunately, on Monday I had to get some emergency dental work done, so my plans kind of got a little thrown to the wayside. But
I hear you.
But
Hope everything's
I
good.
definitely do. Yeah, it's fine. I really did want to also just see if I could do it VOD, but currently it is streaming, but they want like $20 for a rental, and I said get fucked.
Ooh.
So
I think it's still in
um,
theaters. It was when I
is.
looked. Yeah.
So I'm either gonna try and find I think they only have like super late showings of it now.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
I'm either
it's
gonna
random
try and
screenings.
get to something on like a weekend maybe, or hopefully in like the next couple of weeks I can at least get it on like YouTube for like $3.99. I'll pay
Yeah.
that for it, but $20 for rental's fucking crazy.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not paying that. All right. Any other what we're watching here before we head out? We got some time.
The only thing I have is Predators, Killer of the Killers, which was fucking awesome. Highly recommend. Obviously, I love animated stuff. To be able to get this series / genre, or whatever you want to call it, however you want to categorize it, to get this in an animated series, was dope. So highly recommend. Definitely watch it if you're into.
Oh, that animated one came out? Is that
Yeah,
what you're talking
yeah.
about? Oh, okay.
It's on Hulu. It's up right now. It's I think it's about an hour and a half or so, maybe an hour and 45, something like that.
Perfect.
It might actually even be less. It might be like hour 24. But either way, killer little rundown. Lots of fun. Highly recommend.
You check that out too, Blake?
I did. Yeah, I did. I got to it the other day, so I'm glad Ty brought that up. Completely agree with Tyler on that. Probably the best Predator film we have in the entire universe outside of the first one. And the one that's opened up the most doors in terms of their lore from a cinematic standpoint. That's not comics and reading online. Probably since Predators, that's with an S, so plural. From 2010 or something like that. It's got Lawrence Fishburne and a few other people in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, completely awesome. This is everything we would want from a Predator universe film. It's the same director from Prey, the 2022 film, I want to say. So yeah, he's cooking. He's giving us everything you'd want. You're watching Predators and Yautja. They're fighting different warriors from different time periods, which is all anybody can ask for. You get a Predator in a World War II dogfight, which is fucking awesome, man.
Oh, cool.
Like awesome.
Yeah, man, just stuff you can't get in live action. So it's dope, man. They open up a lot of world buildings too. They go back to their home planet, and you see a king predator for the first time that we've seen that high ranking in a cinematic universe, as well as a predator for the first time actually speaking a language. for the first time in a cinematic universe. Normally, it's just the crackling sound they make. But yeah, a lot of world building in this one. Super, super dope, man. Honestly, one of the best movies I've seen this calendar year. So that's my short rant. Nathaniel, have you seen anything?
Yeah, I watched all of season 2 of The Rehearsal. Which
How is that? Everyone talked about the finale of him driving or flying a 747. I haven't watched any of it.
It is true. It does happen. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. I think Nathan Fielder is doing some very interesting stuff in terms of like what reality is and like at what point are you telling a story and where do you become the story and separation of art and artist. Yeah, he's got a lot going there.
The first season did that. Yeah, the first season did that really well.
I think, and he very smartly decides not to do that, like not to try and pursue those same highs in the second one and not quite go as esoteric. It's very much got this kind of one goal that it's going towards. But I think it even in those, like you definitely get those moments where you're just like, how the hell did we get here overall? So yeah. I did enjoy it. I think it's worth watching. If you like the first one and responded to that, I think you will enjoy the second season as well.
Yeah, man. Fielder, he's just one of those people and one of those creatives where like your brain just works differently, and there's nothing anyone could ever do to kind of match what kind of stuff you do or how you do it. He's similar in my mind to like Bo Burnham, where it's like you just understand things or like think of things in just a way that I can't even imagine. No. And you have a way of manifesting and materializing that in your art and projects in like ways that I just can't even fathom.
Yeah, I don't disagree on that one.
Yeah.
I think I said last week that I'd finished Andor as well too, Andor season 2.
Yes, you did.
So yeah, that one's awesome. That was really it for me overall. I wanted to make sure I got the Russell Plan. There was a couple of weeks there where it was just like there are so many things coming out right now that I want to watch. Oh, I started watching that show Stick on Amazon, or not Amazon, on Apple TV with like it's Owen Wilson's Ted Lasso, but he's playing golf.
I've seen a trailer for that.
He's coaching a kid in golf. Yeah, it's fine. It's enjoyable. I put it on and had a good time with that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I play golf now, so I'm
sure
I'm
you do.
into it.
You do play the golf.
Technically been out yet, so you don't actually.
I mean, I've got.
You spectate still.
I'm learning.
I'm excited for you to learn.
Dude, I'm itching to. I'm like mad. I'm going to Denver this weekend. I want to play so bad.
Just wait till you actually fucking play. Then you're gonna be like,
I'm so
nervous,
mad,
dude. I'm nervous that I am going to double book my weekends on Sunday and Saturday with like people to golf. Like I'm going to be just asking everyone all the time, can you golf? Do you want to golf?
The only problem is you're going to get to a point where you're like, oh, this is expensive.
Yeah, no, I'm nervous. I am nervous.
Yeah, you'll find yourself going to the range and stuff like that to kind of fill your gaps where you feel like I really do want to go out golf, but right now it's probably not the best time to go golf 3 times in 1 week. The other thing that I watched real quick was season 2 of Tires on Netflix.
Sure. So they already have season 2 out?
Yeah.
I feel like that show just came out.
The first season came out last year, and they only got 6 episodes because it was still very like piloted. This is a full 12-episode season. If you like stand-up comedians and just like comedy in general, it's Shane Gillis, McKeever, a couple other guys that Stavros is in it. Andrew Schultz is in it. It's a funny ass show. So if you're looking for a good laugh and just kind of like that sitcom-y kind of vibe, it's really well written and it's hilarious.
Cool, man. Blake, you been watching anything?
Yeah, I went and I touched on the.
Oh, you did. I'm
Killers.
sorry. Yeah. I guess it's just me left. I really haven't watched much this week. Been busy. I watched some NBA finals. And watching like some YouTube, just kind of throwing things on. Cubs every day that I can. Cubs playing well, playing some good baseball. Very fun team to watch. It's a long season, so still got a lot of ways to go. But Cubs are looking good. It's been, at the very least, it's been fun not watching in pain every single day like I have past couple of years. But yeah, that's kind of like the main thing I've been watching. Cubs baseball.
Hell yeah.
What happened to your D-backs over there, Nathaniel?
You know what? It's a long season, as you were just saying.
It is.
Hit a rough patch, I'd rather be cold in June and hot in August and September,
That's always how it goes. Yeah. I'm nervous for the Cubs for that very
Peaking
reason.
too early.
I think their hitting is legitimate. I mean, it seems like everyone up and down the lineup is, even when some people are slumping, other people are getting hot, and it's like they always have an answer. They're always finding ways. I think their offense is legit. I don't see them having too big of a slump as a team, despite their current road trip not going so well. But I think their pitching is they've kept them in games, or at least they've given them chances to win, but they need to move fast. I don't know if they can wait for the deadline. I think they really need to get somebody to fill in the holes, because they've had Justin Steele was our starting pitcher 1. He's out for the season. Imanaga was our second pitcher, or second on the depth chart, if you will. He's been injured for a month. So we've been kind of winging it and making it work, but it's not sustainable. So that's what makes me nervous, is pitching wise, especially the starting pitching. Bullpen's been solid, but if Zach Gallen is looking to move teams, I wouldn't be mad about that happening.
Sure.
Do you anticipate the D-backs selling? Do you think that's the trend, the direction they're trending? Because I mean, I don't think they would if they weren't in the best division in baseball.
Yeah. Hard to now, I would say. Because your Corbin Burns just got injured, right? So I guess like maybe you're saying you're holding on to him for a while, but like I don't think they're out of a wild card spot yet. Like,
that's a good question.
I think pretty much
they've had some skids. Did they sweep someone?
Yeah, they swept Phillies. No, Braves. They swept the Braves.
Braves. Well, Braves are, but you guys in the wild card. Oh, brother, you're 4.5 games back on the wild card.
Okay, yeah, but it's June.
It is June. That's not a lot for June, for sure. But
yeah, play 500 at least.
Wild card's going to be tough.
Gotta play 500.
Wild card's going to be tough.
Okay,
Yeah.
Winning the division is fucking tougher. Like, suck my ass when the best team in baseball's in there. You're not wrong. Winning that division is a challenge. But like, but that's the thing, is like only one team out of that division. Because there's a scenario where the 2 wildcard spots are the other 2 teams in the West. In the NL
West.
I know.
Like there's a scenario where it is the Giants and it is the Padres.
Yeah, it probably will be.
And it probably will be at this rate.
Padres will get injured. They always do. Manny Machado will die in the second half of the season.
I mean, yeah, that team's interesting. Their pitching, though, is and has been solid for the past couple of years that they've competed. I think this year they looked even better. So
sure.
But yeah, man, been a fun season of baseball so far. Just all the way around. There's quite a few good teams. There's quite a few bad teams, but there's
Rockies, historically bad. Yeah, that's the funniest part about it, is that you have those teams in that division, and then you have the Rockies.
I had the Rockies game on. It was either last night or the night before.
There's AAA teams better, dude.
Man. Well, there is, but it was just heartbreaking, dude. They were up like 3 or 4 runs in the 9th. Went down 2 runs in the top of the 9th. Like gave up like 4 or 5 runs, and then they got one back, I think, or at least they got like a guy on third. They basically had the tying run on third, and they lost it. And I was just like, man, that's got to be. That can't be fun. Just can't. just can't be fun to work that hard, spend
No.
that much time. You get to the majors, and then that's the team you're on. Like, I just feel so bad for those guys. But
Well, they'll cry
I guess
into their
just be
millions
better.
of dollars. Yeah.
well, yeah, there's that too. All right, well, enough rambling. Let's get on out of here. Thank you all for listening, especially if you made it this far into the episode. You're our favorite type of listener, and we really do appreciate it. Do us a favor and share the podcast. Share with a friend, a family member, a fellow moviegoer, or someone with an X like scar on their wrist. If you see that, you should ask them about it and be like, "That's weird." But here's a podcast. While you're doing that, follow us on Twitter, Banter Row, Instagram. We're not plugging Instagram. YouTube is Back Row Banter, and email is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. Tyler Vidalis, where can the people find you at, my man?
You can find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, and X, all Tyler Vidalis, Vidales, Nathaniel.
You can always find me on Letterboxd and Instagram and Blue Sky, Nathaniel G92, and S. Gingrich. Blake.
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder, PSN, Xbox, Mr. Watercoolers, Instagram, Mr. Adam.
You can find me on Twitter at H24 and on Letterboxd at H, where I've still been killing it with at least the ratings. I'm gonna ease into doing reviews. I have one up for, I think, Mission Impossible. I put up one, but I think slowly but surely you'll see more actual written reviews out of me of varying length. But I've been pretty solid and consistent with the ratings. My current favorite thing right now on Letterboxd is I have a 2025 ranked list. All the new movies I've seen, or yes, new movies released in 2025, not new movies I've seen, but the new movies coming out in 2025. All the ones that I've seen so far, kind of ranking them, kind of seeing where everything shakes out by the end of the year to have more of like an easier idea of like what I feel like my favorite movie is. Anyway, that's it. Episode 240, 240 eps, guys. Coming up on 250, coming up on 5 years. It's an exciting time ahead. Oh, you know what we need to put on the schedule is our 5-year app.
I was just going to say,
That's what I was going to say too.
after the
We
episode,
don't have
yeah.
that slated. Son of a
And we
bitch.
normally do that like that first week of
July
July, so
4th,
that
yeah.
would technically be, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that out another time. Cool. Well, with all that being said, check out what are they watching? 28 Weeks Later. Check out 28 Weeks Later, and then join us for our review next week. We'll be RB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Adam, really quick. With the NBA Finals, right? Pacers, Thunder 1-1. Thunder are one of a handful of teams
I
in the
gotta put
NBA
that game on.
do,
Game 3 is
that
on
do
right
not
now,
end
right?
in an S. Can you name the others?
All right. What did you say?
Oklahoma City
Hey.
Thunder are one of a few teams. I think it's 4 off the top of my head. So you'd have to name 3 others that do not end in an S in the NBA. Do you know the other
That's tough because it's all plural.
others?
Also,
There's
also.
only there's 4 teams.
I think
that
it's 4
don't
total.
end
I'd
in
have to fact check that, but
S.
off the top of my head, I think it's 4. We're gonna test your basketball knowledge here.
The Heat.
That's the one I just thought of.
Miami Heat's one.
Yep.
It's not
Adam, I just posted a blue
the
streak.
Mavericks. Or is it Mavericks or is it Dallas? It is Mavericks. That's exactly what I would expect.
Yep,
That's bland as fuck.
sure
Sorry.
is.
Why is it not orange? No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we got the Heat, the Thunder.
They got
I
the
was gonna
Chargers
say the-
logo going, Ty.
Pretty much. I wish there was some yellow in there, honestly. The only other color that we had other than white was like a little bit of silver in there.
Yeah.
Sixers. Are you sure there's 4? Have you confirmed the number?
I'll fact check it right now.
Confirm for me really quick, because
I know. Yes, I'm pretty sure. You've named one. I know the other two immediately, and I think that's it.
I mean, there's only 30 teams to pick from, so I'm trying to like go down. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, like
looking
one's
down
a
the list
one's a
in my
gimme,
head.
brother. One's a complete gimme. If you guessed it, Miami Heat. It's like that's the
Heat.
most easiest hint I can give you. You guessed the Heat. The other one's a gimme.
Well, wait, is it? There's no other Florida team.
Colorado Cold, idiot.
Mhm. Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, it's not the tent. If I got the Heat, I'm lost.
It's a gimme, brother. You just trapped yourself saying there's not another Florida team.
Okay, wait. Oh, the Magic. Okay,
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And it wouldn't. Not the Hornets. Not the Nets. Knicks. Celtics. So there's one more I'm missing.
Yep.
I'm gonna get it.
All right, boys. I just sent mine in as well too.
Oh, that's a sick logo.
Okay.
I
gonna have
like
to
that a
send
lot.
mine in.
That's giving very much AAA baseball.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kind of wish he didn't have a sleeve like on his shoulder that's showing, because it does make it look like his shoulder's like almost like disconnected from his body.
I
But
see what
other
you're
than that,
saying.
it's dope.
Dude, I'm gonna lose it.
They also have a hockey team.
The
same city.
the Utah Jazz.
Yep.
Thank you.
The Utah Hockey Club,
Jazzes, the Utah Jazzes.
the St. Louis Blue.